What's going on, everybody? This your man Lucky. I'm back with another one. I hope everybody's doing well. Listen, fellas, let me explain something to you, okay? This is very important. Never, ever be afraid to lose a woman. All right, guys, so check this out. Let me explain something to you, man. You've been in a relationship for a long time, right, guys? Whether it's a long-term relationship, man, whether you're married, whatever the case may be, right? You begin to form some type of emotional attachment to that woman. Most of the time, that's just how it happens. Now, I know a lot of you guys is just tough and you'll never get emotionally attached because, you know, maybe you've been emotionally attached before and went through a bad breakup and stuff like that, and you'll never get emotionally attached to a woman. But I believe that the longer and the more time, the more you have invested in a relationship, the more you have invested in a woman, the more of an emotional attachment that you're going to have. That's just my opinion, and that's my experience, okay? Your experience may be different, but that's my experience. So now, the more of an emotional attachment that you have, right, when things start going bad in a relationship and things are not working out, you're going through a rough patch or whatever it is, right, at some point, when you can really see the red flags, like this is really not going good, you might begin to have a fear of losing that woman. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because it makes you pay attention, right? It makes you start looking at how she moves versus the things that she says, right? You understand what I'm saying? And so that little bit of fear is okay, because it opens your eyes. You begin to listen to your intuition and things like that, right? That's fine. But you cannot begin to show the fear. You show the fear of losing that woman by how you behave towards her, okay? Guys, when you have a fear of losing a woman and you start to show neediness, she can sense that. You understand what I'm saying? What am I talking about? What's showing neediness? Okay, showing neediness, right? Or showing that fear that that you have of losing her, right, is all of a sudden now you start doing all of the things that you never did before, right? You never went out and bought her roses. Now all of a sudden every day you come home from work, right, and you got a rose and you got a card telling her how much you care about her. Or every night now, you know, instead of hanging out with your fellas or whatever, right, you're coming straight home and now you're up under her and trying to cater to her every need. And every single weekend is like, hey, let's spend the weekend together. Hey, let's go to breakfast. Hey, let's go to lunch. Hey, let's go to dinner. And you're doing all of these things that you have never done before. You understand what I'm saying? Guys, when things start to go bad, you might begin to get jealous, right? So now you're concerned about who she's on the phone with. Now you're concerned about where she's going. Now you're concerned about how much time she's spending out with her friends. And now you're concerned about how she dresses and things like that, right? That's showing fear. That's showing a fear that you have of losing her, especially when you never had that fear before and you've never done these things before. Now, don't get this confused with you having to, be a man and step up and do the things that help to make a relationship work. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you're in the fearful phase of the relationship, right? You're in basically the breakup, you know what I'm saying, stages of a relationship. Like it's toward the end. And now, you're just doing anything and everything you can do to try to salvage the relationship. That's what I'm talking about. Women can sense that fear, guys. She can tell, like, oh man, he's scared. You understand what I'm saying? They can sense it. And what happens is, even if they don't really realize what it is, what happens is, guys, you begin to turn her off. Women don't like a weak man, okay? And a lot of you guys don't really understand that at the end, right, when a relationship is going through the turmoil and a relationship is going through, that rough patch, and you start to do those things, it's almost like you're showing fear. You're showing neediness. You're scared to lose her. And so you're in a weakened state. And so you're doing now all of these things, not really because it's really who you are. It's You're doing it out of fear. You're doing it out of fear. When you do things out of fear versus doing things out of confidence, the difference shows. The demeanor shows. She can tell when you're doing something out of fear versus when you're doing it because you're confident or you're doing it because you genuinely want to do it. When you start to move out of fear, I'm telling you right now, women will begin to manipulate you. Period, point blank. When you're doing stuff out of fear, this is when the manipulation comes in, guys. The reason why you're able to be manipulated is because you don't want to lose that woman. And I'm telling you, man, when you start allowing a woman to manipulate you, the relationship doesn't even have to be at a bad stage. You know what I'm saying? The relationship doesn't have to be at a bad stage. You can be in the very beginning and be manipulated all throughout the entire relationship simply because you have a fear of losing that woman. And so you'll do anything for that woman to stay with you or that woman to continue to be with you or that woman, whatever. You do whatever. And so you will allow yourself to be manipulated. Again, guys, man, never be afraid to lose a woman, whether it's in the beginning of the relationship or it's toward the end. Now, typically, men who are strong men, right? Men who are confident and things of that nature, usually their fear will or won't come out until the end. You know, when a relationship is falling apart and that man realizes like the relationship is falling apart and, you know, he just gets weak at the end because he doesn't want it to be over, right? But some men show that weakness from the very beginning, and it allows a woman to manipulate you throughout the entire relationship, guys. So never show that fear, regardless of why you're showing the fear. If you just initially have a fear from the beginning that the woman is not going to stay with you or the woman is going to leave you or whatever the case may be, or if you're a strong man who, you know, kind of got weak towards the end and you're doing all of these things because you want to continue the relationship, guys, never show fear, man. Never show that fear of losing that woman, because that is when the manipulation is going to start or potentially be there. Some of you guys, man, manipulate yourselves. She don't even have to manipulate you. You manipulate yourself because the fear that you have, you start doing all of this extra stuff. Usually that's the strong guy, and you know the relationship is falling apart and you're doing whatever you can do to keep it together. But guys, and it really becomes a downward spiral, because what happens is if you're typically the strong guy and then towards the end when things get rough, you start to show that weakness, right? Because you have that fear of the relationship, right? When you show that weakness, it turns her off. So now she tries to further distance herself from you. When you start to feel that distance, you get weaker, and then you do more things that make you look weak. You do more things to show that fear. And as you start doing more things that show your weakness, she pulls away even more. So it's like now the harder you try, the more she is going to run away. Essentially, what you're doing now, guys, is you are chasing that woman. She is running away from you, and you are chasing her to get her back. You don't have to or chasing doesn't only happen in the beginning of the relationship. Chasing can happen anywhere in the relationship. A lot of guys will chase to get a woman. Some guys will begin to chase to keep a woman. Either way, when you chase, it is pretty much going to repel her, especially if she wants a strong man. Now, some women will sit back and just take any man that'll come along the way. Like, yo, I'll just put him in this box, or I'll put him in that box or that box, whatever box they need to keep that man in. And then when they need whatever it is that box that man is in, she'll go to that man and say, hey, I need this. Hey, I need that. That's when they kind of like friend zone you, and each guy's has a purpose, you know, whatever. But I'm just saying, really, in the sense of, you know, especially like my long-term relationship guys or you know, guys that have been married for years, you never chase her. It is going to turn her off. I get it, man. You think you're doing the things that you need to do. You think you're doing the right things, but essentially what you're doing is you turning her off. I have learned this. I have been through this. Like, To a normal person, like, it just doesn't make sense. It would seem like, okay, the more I do, right, the better off that I am. She'll see that I really care, and she'll see that this and that or whatever. Nah, guys, it doesn't really work like that. All right. If that woman is used to you being that strong man, and then now she's seeing the weak side of you, it is going to make her run. And the harder you try, the more she is going to be turned off, and the more she is going to run. So don't have that fear of losing her. If y'all in a relationship and you're going through a rough patch, man, you still got to stand strong. You got to stand strong, because the weaker you show her that you are, when that weakness comes out and you start acting upon that weakness, all it's going to do is turn her away. All it's going to do is turn her away, guys. You cannot have that fear. Listen, one of the things you got to understand is that this, man, a woman has the right to leave if she doesn't want to be there. You got to understand that. We all have that right. If you don't want to be in a relationship, you have the right to leave. Now, I think there's a way to go about it. You know, I don't think you should just up and leave. I don't think that you should just up and start seeing other people. And I think there's a way that you're supposed to handle the situation. And I think your character depends on that. If you don't want to be with a woman anymore, I think you should sit down and have a conversation with her. If that woman doesn't want to be with you anymore, I think she should sit down and have a conversation with you. Even if you trying, you doing your best, she have that conversation. But guys, if she is the type of person that has great character and she sits down and has that conversation with you, take it as such, man. Show your strength and you deal with it. If she doesn't have the conversation with you and you can tell that she's moving different, you still gotta have that strength, man. You still gotta have that strength. Never show weakness, I'm telling you. A lot of times, guys, you showing that strength can totally change the situation. But you cannot change her. She has to change her. She has to change how she sees the situation. She has to change how she sees you. You can't do it. You can't go out and buy flowers and take her out and upgrade the house and buy a new car and all. None of that is going to change. When we get weak as men, these are the things that we do. We think, oh, I'm going to go do this. Oh, I'm going to go do that. And now she's going to. It doesn't work like that. Guys, if you're going through it, man, fall back, man. Fall back. The only thing that is going to re-attract her to you, if it's even possible, is whatever is going on in her mind. It's how she views you. That's it. And there's nothing there are things that you can do to change her view of you. One of the things you can do is act needy and show that fear and start caving in and doing all of these needy things. It's going to change her view of you, but it's not going to be a positive change. It is going to be a negative change if you're trying to salvage the relationship. I'm telling you, this is why I talk all the time about having the power to walk away, having the power to let go. It shows strength. When you have the power to let go, it shows strength. When you have the power to walk away, it shows strength. I'm telling you, and that is the only thing that can even possibly re-attract that woman to you. Now, this video is not about re-attracting a woman, but I don't want to get off on a and start going another direction. But you got to show that strength, guys. Never have fear. Do not have that fear. If y'all want, let me know in the comment section, man. I can I could probably do a video about maybe how to re-attract a woman or something like that. You in a relationship and things are going bad, you're going through a rough patch, and little things that you can do that can typically or might, change how she sees you. But I can guarantee you right now, when you show neediness and you're showing that fear that you're going to see, guys, you got to get into the psychology of it, right? If you showing her that you have a fear of losing her, right? Not only does it show weakness, right? But it shows in her mind subconsciously, she's probably going to be thinking, yo, he can't do any better than me. If he's doing all of this to get me, then he can't do any better than me. You understand what I'm saying? He can't do any better than me. So she's going to view herself as like the superior in the relationship. She's going to view herself as the prize. So she's always going to feel like if she is the prize, that if you're doing everything you can do, right, to get her, that she's not doing the best or she's not getting the best. You understand what I'm saying? It's like reverse. It's odd, but women want to, I think like kind of like subconsciously, they want to feel that they are the best, right? Women want to feel as though they're the prize. And so if a man is like trying to do everything to get with that woman is going to feel like she's settling for somebody who's less than her. Because if he's doing all of these things, she must be more than him. So it's like she really wants to be with a dude who almost she doesn't really matter to, because he's doing better or he is above her. And so if he doesn't really pay her any mind, it's because he's better than her. And so she's winning if she's with somebody that's better than her. And then, using, better than or whatever, I might be using the wrong terminology. I'm not trying to make it seem like men, women, better, worse, whatever like that. But I'm just saying he's more of a prize than she is. You understand what I'm saying? You ever had that friend of yours who no matter what you can do to them, or matter of fact, just in a relationship, you ever been in a relationship that no matter what you did, that woman just kept coming back? There was no way that you could even value her, because it's no matter what you did in that relationship, she just kept coming back. You understand what I'm saying? You tend to not value the things that are always going to be there no matter what. And that's when it comes to people. Guys, when you show neediness, man, a woman will just view you as you are less than. Women want to be with a guy that they think is the prize. Women want to feel like, yo, I'm getting something out of this. And when you show neediness, when you show a fear of losing her, just in her mind, it's going to kind of click that if you have a fear of losing her, then she must be the prize. You know what I'm saying? Women will talk that all day long, that they the prize and they feel like they the prize. And that's great to feel like that. But at the end of the day, at the same time, they'll say that they won't settle. You know what I mean? So if they're the prize, but they won't settle, right? If they feel like they're on top, but they won't settle, that means that them being on top is not because they want somebody that needs them. They're putting out all of their credentials and blah, 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 right? Because they're actually trying to get somebody who has more. Most women are not going to be with a guy who's coming to the table with what she has or less. When you're showing that fear of losing her, she automatically in her mind is going to feel like, yo, he has less. He is less. Guys, never fear losing a woman. If that woman wants to go, man, let her go. Don't show any neediness or anything like that. If she want to go, let her go. If you want to work on a relationship, man, but do not have fear of her leaving. If she says she want to leave, man, listen, if she says she want to leave, let her go. At that point, man, if a woman say, yo, it's not you, it's me, or whatever, all that kind of stuff, man, and she's giving you vibes like, yo, I don't want to be here anymore, or this is not working out. She says it, man, let her go. Let her go. Don't do anything. Don't do anything to try. Let her go. Let her go, man. All right. Guys, don't show fear, man. Never show fear, okay, of losing a woman. I promise you. I promise you. That will definitely be the downfall. Guys, y'all be good, man. I know I rambled on, man, but it's been a few days since I've been in front of the camera, man, and I had a few things that I wanted to say. Look, guys, y'all be good. I'll catch y'all on the next one.